Hello guys, welcome to this video. Today in this episode of administrative law, we are going to examine something known as discretion as a ground for judicial review. Indeed, if it is found out that the body in charge or an administrative body in one way or the other misuses the discretion which has been entrusted upon it, then it is liable for misuse of discretion, and any action or inaction or any decision that it takes by misusing its discretion is invalidated or made to be null and void. This simply means it will not have any legal power whatsoever. So in order to understand the concept of discretion properly, I will give you an example. We have something known as free will. Free will is whereby you do what you want, but we also have something known as determinism. Determinism is different from free will, because determinism simply means that you do according to some laws, or you really act in a way that is constrained within certain guidelines. That is determinism. The concept of determinism is very analogous to the concept of discretion, because they have something in common. The agents or the people that are committing action in all of these cases have a certain degree of autonomy, but this degree of autonomy is limited to certain circumstances. This simply means that an administrative body in its action is also limited. So this limitation is whereby now we have the boundaries of discretion. There are things that administrative body is not allowed to use its discretionary power or free will to do, because they will go beyond the discretionary space that body operates with. We have to understand that these bodies operate within statutory limits, so even the use of the discretion is also limited to according to the statutory requirements. So by definition, discretion is deciding between two or more causes of action or inaction whenever the limits of statutory authority allows. So the discretion is something that goes hand in hand with the concept of determinism, because the statutory authority granting power to a public body acts in one way or the other as a god of this statutory body. So the statutory body must act within the will of its statute, or the statute that gave life to it. So this is now really the limits of discretionary. So there are certain guidelines that spell out how discretion is expected to be exercised by a public body. So 1, discretion should be exercised properly. 2, discretion must be exercised reasonably. 3, discretion must be exercised by the proper authority and not by delegation, which means an officer in charge of doing something cannot delegate that responsibility to someone else. If they delegate it to someone else, then we have misuse of discretion, and that the decision of the delegated person or the person who was given power will be invalidated, because it is a misuse of discretion. Fourthly, discretion must be exercised without restraint. So restraint simply means when a public body refuses to do something, or is slow to do something that it ought to do and it can do. So discretion has to be exercised and should be exercised without any restraints. So let us now look at the improper case uses of discretion. One is exercising discretion for improper motive. Motive is simply the end goal that this public body is exercising discretion for. So if the end goal is improper, then that is misuse of discretion. Another case is whereby the power to exercise discretion is delegated to a person who is not charged with the responsibility in question. Thirdly, we have where the discretion is exercised so as to serve what we call self-interest, pecuniary or otherwise. When you talk about pecuniary interests, these are simply talking about monetary gains that a party or a body or a person stands to get in any kind of exchange or transaction. So I'll give you a case law of 1968, whereby we have Fernandez versus Kericho Liquor Licensing Court. So the court, or this Kericho Liquor Licensing court, made a decision, and this decision was only to allow or to grant Africans licenses and this kind, and not any other people. So giving liquor licenses to Africans only was a misuse of discretion. So this is a case law that shows misuse of discretion can really render a decision null and void, the way this decision by Kericho was really rendered null and void. Thank you for watching this video. Like, share and subscribe.